Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Today we have Zoe Wei, Head of Dev Relationships and Marketing at BNB Chain, and we're going to be talking a little bit about BNB Greenfield. So lots coming up. The Testnet just launched last week, so we'll definitely get into that. But yeah, Zoe, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been doing at BNB Chain, just to let everybody know about you.
Yeah, sure. I'm Zoe, and I'm the head of developer relations and marketing in BNB Chain now. Before this position, I was the senior business director at BNB Chain and in charge of the incubator and the growth of projects. So before BNB Chain, I was in Binance and doing different BUs, including fiat, charity, like NFT, labs, fan token. Yeah, basically did everything. So but I find my interest in the more decentralized world and trying to find new exciting projects to launch on BNB Chain and create a very prosperous ecosystem.
Yeah, that's awesome to see everything that's happening in that ecosystem, always growing. But yeah, so last week that was the big announcement. Testnet went live for BNB Greenfield. It's called Congo. For those that may not know, at a high level, what is BNB Greenfield and how does it play into BNB Chain in the ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So BNB Greenfield is a decentralized storage infrastructure within the broader BNB Chain ecosystem where users and dApps can create, store, and exchange data with the full ownership to form a new data economy. So it's actually another chain in the BNB Chain ecosystem. So it's a separate, independent storage chain with the native relayer between BSC, which is BNB Smart Chain that people are familiar with, and the BNB Greenfield. So that's the relationship. So describing more, so why the decentralized storage is important and why our storage solution is better. So basically, now everyone maybe feel like how you get access to storage now in the Web2 world. Usually, you have the Dropbox, you upload your data, download the data, and the enterprise that invest in the data storage and management, or they build their own data center to store their data. But usually all the data is centralized stored, and actually the ownerships of the data belong to those Web2 companies. And for example, now everyone knows AI is very popular, but AI is built on a huge amount of data. But actually, the user who contributed data are not going to benefit from the AI results. So Greenfield and other decentralized storage solutions are trying to bring back this ownership to users. So anyone want to use the user's data to do like training or do other purpose, they need to pay the fee to the user who contributed data. So that's the whole purpose. In addition, decentralized storage will actually in nature will divide storage tasks between different we call storage providers. And so even one storage provider it went down or they're not working, your data is still safe with other storage providers and being able to compile the data and you can still retrieve the data. In addition, this decentralized storage allows for the programmable storage. So basically, with all the data stored, you can build dApps beyond this storage layer. And so there will be a more, we call data economy grow out of that. So, since everyone have the data, everyone should benefit from data, then there will be trading on the data itself. And it could be to be a good way to monetize the data. So that's what we're doing at the Greenfield. So with Greenfield, you will be able to log in with anonymous cryptographic-based keys, which is IDs, and you can create, read, and execute data with a UX similar to like today's solutions like the Dropbox or the AWS. So basically, you will not feel it's very slow to create or read or download the data. The speed will be the same as the Web2 ones. And you at the same time, you had to fully own the data sets and you control who can use and how. So what does ownership mean? It's not like you just click on website, okay, I consent this, but actually if they want to use your data, they need to get your permission and they need to pay your fees. And so also it's all based on the smart contract, so it's not centrally controlled by, even not by BNB Chain, but all by the smart contract to show the transparency. So that's the brief description.
Yeah, and I mean, I think me being in this space for a while, it's interesting that this like concept of owning we all talk about decentralization, and we still store our data on centralized servers and have no ability to monetize that. So the idea of having something like a Google Cloud or a Dropbox, and then being able to monetize your data if you want to share it via a smart contract, I think it's really unique. And with that being said, I mean, there are other decentralized storage solutions, right? So what's going to make BNB Greenfield different than these other solutions that exist out there now?
Yeah, sure. I think the first is still the ownerships. So basically, the other solution will not give you the ownerships of this one. So which ownerships, like actually that's called access control. So basically, people want you need to get permission from you, and you can get financial return based on your provision for to data for different dApps. So that part is unique for BNB Chain. And the second part is I said the programmability. So basically, because of the design of the infrastructure, so it's easy for other dApps to extract data and to compile data to create new dApps based on this data system. In addition to that, the speed, I said, will be the same as the current Web 2 solution, the centralized solutions. So everyone critique about the current other decentralized solution as very slow. And like, okay, you don't want to take hours to upload a video and like take days to download a video. But Greenfield can solve this in a very good way. Like you don't feel it's using a decentralized solution, but as actually decentralized. And another thing is, as I mentioned, we build a native layer between BSC and BNB Greenfield. And so all the data will be synchronized using this very safe layer. And so actually there will also be an SDK, actually is already in our testnet for existing BSC projects to integrate, and their data will be automatically stored on Greenfield. So this is actually solve a lot of issues. You know, the other issue for the existing storage providers, like there are a lot of junk data on chain, and it does not have a huge amount of valuable user data on chain to be able to create this economy. But with this SDK and the native layer we built, thousands of dApps will be naturally move their data to Greenfield, and it's easy for Greenfield dApps to utilize those data to create their own dApps and own information. That is how. So for example, if you're a BSC project, you integrate with this SDK, it's very easy. And then your data will be stored on the Greenfield, and as like, for example, as an NFT. And with this native layer, the status of this NFT will be automatically mirrored to the BSC when the status of the NFT changes in your smart contract. So eventually the smart contract still with BSC, the EVM compatible chain, and the data is stored on the Greenfield. So that's a perfect match. So it will further grow the BSC ecosystem and empower those existing dApps. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah, because so they'll be able to leverage the existing data from the activity on BSC, that's a huge plus, because in other chains, you would have to onboard users to collect all that data, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the reason you see Filecoin is also promoting the FVM. So it's similar, like, okay, this, yeah, people need smart contract to build the apps, and then they need data. So you can think about the history of the Web2 data. So Amazon was previously not a data like a cloud provider, but after they grow their marketplace, the original business, they grow this AWS service, build this. And in Asia, they're like, okay, they're like the same as the Google Cloud. It's also very big. And also in Asia, there's like Ali Cloud or like Tencent Cloud. All those big tech giants build this cloud service successfully instead of like small startups, because their existing data will be able to store, and they have the global capacity to run this data storage service. That will be also applied to Web3, because maintaining and growing the storage chain is actually not just maintaining this chain, but your interaction with all the other chains, especially the existing chains where the apps are used. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. And yeah, and so we have, we have now BNB Greenfield, which is going to be the third chain in the BNB ecosystem. So we have the Beacon chain, which is for staking and on-chain governance, BSC chain, which is the one mostly everybody is familiar with, and now we have BNB Greenfield. So from what I read, it looks BNB token is going to be the sole token for this economy. So we know that, in a data economy, people can sell and buy the data. What about the cost from a user perspective? And also, could you maybe talk a little bit about who's going to hold this data for us? So if you could touch on that, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So BNB will be the only currency for all the BNB chain ecosystem, including, as you mentioned, the Bitcoin Chain, BSC, and the BNB Greenfield. So this is a way that we stick to one token, and then we continue to build the utility for one token to empower one token instead of issue another token. That's first. So basically, we hope to drive the BNB value over time, and making sure the BNB holders are very comfortable that we're always building for BNB. And so the user perspective, so, okay, I'm a user. Okay, I want to create, for example, my personal cloud storage in a very secure way. And okay, then on the infrastructure, I will have a pool of different storage providers I can choose. Because in there's some background in the BNB Greenfield design, there will be two stakeholders on the chain side, which is the validators who verify the data, and also the storage providers who actually will compete to become the the storage providers for users. So okay, you are for example, you have 10 storage providers you can choose for your primary storage solution and secondary storage solution. You can choose several, and you choose them, and each time you upload, you create your data, you need to pay a small fee to the storage providers for them to do the service. And each time you download, you also need to pay a small fee to those storage providers. However, when other DApps want to use your data, want to read your data, then they need to pay you BNB to do. So that's how actually the more data you're gonna use by other parties with your permission, the more monetary value you will get along the way. So, for example, okay, I want to write a blog, and I publish the blog on Greenfield, and okay, I can choose. Okay, you need to pay my like 0.1 BNB to read my blog. If you don't pay, you cannot read my blog. That's actually achievable. And so although each time there was small fee I need to pay for the storage providers, but I will actually receive those reading fees from my readers. And that's the same applied to social media and applied to, for example, movies. So basically you can, for content creators, so you can actually benefit a lot from this economy. Actually, it's all the money will be paid automatically in BNB.
Yeah, and I think it goes to, because people think about it like, oh, I don't want to pay to upload, I don't want to pay to download, but it's the whole concept of building a data economy, because as you're uploading and downloading, people are also paying you to have that data, and I could see that economy growing that way. And eventually, with what you're getting paid, that's what you'll use to upload and download and hopefully make profits at some point. From a content creator perspective, I think it's long overdue, whether it's platforms to distribute my content for micropayments, or sharing just my data for my information for data analytics. Like, at some point, I think it's long overdue that we should be getting paid for the data that we put out there. So yeah, I do see, Zoe, did you want to chime in? I did see you on mic. Sorry.
Hello. Yeah, can you see me? Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you.
Okay. Yeah.
So, our active, welcome. I saw you come up. Did you have a question or comment?
Thanks for bringing me up. Yeah, just do you have any examples of types of data that companies would be interested in getting? I know this might seem like a dumbed down type of question, but like, say for example, I get excited about this, or whoever gets excited about this, it's awesome, I'm going to be able to monetize my data. Who's going to be interested in my data? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It sounds great, but like at the end of the day, am I going to end up a year later with no inquiries into my data specifically, or what types of data are companies looking for?
Okay, so usually company looking for the user behavior data, because they need to know if you're their target customer, especially for the advertisement business. They need to push you the news. So basically, now the current way is actually so those Web2 companies collect all those data, and they do the data analytics and sell these results to people, so they can push you the ads on your Web2 devices. So basically now, if the Web2 companies want to get those data, and so they know what kind of advertisement they need to push to you. So, and they need to charge get a fee from those for example games to you. So for example, they need to know your game playing data to know what kind of games will interest you and what are not, and then they can recommend more games to you. So that would be the very direct example in the future. Yeah.
Okay, so it is also about uploading the right types of data in order to be able to monetize, then, is what I'm kind of gathering, because companies aren't interested in every single thing. So I think it's important just to, over time, learn what's going to be able to be monetizable.
Yeah. So usually, for example, you usually can, because you want to play for example Web3 game, so it will generate data, and now you don't have the access, or like you don't have ownership of the data when you're playing a Web3 game. But if you have, then the next time another company want to get access to the data, and then they need to they need to ask you for permission. So that will be the valuable part. So there are a lot of now the data vendors on Web3 markets who actually just focus on analyzing the data, how to say, the user behavior data. Yeah.
Yeah, great question. And I also saw you had put another question in the chat box about who, like, and I know we talked about this, but maybe Zoe, we can clarify and talk about the validators, like who's storing the data. It's going to be validators. And Zoe, do you maybe want to talk about like the validators? And I do know you guys are actively looking for validators for the testnet. So it would be, people in the community or different people running different validators.
Okay, so let me explain the structure. So basically, there will be validators and the storage providers. So basically, the data will be actually provided by the storage providers. So storage providers are the services infrastructure provided organizations or individuals that use Greenfield as ledger and also the single source of the truth. So each storage provider is responsible for responding to users' requests to upload and download data. We're also serving as the gatekeeper for user rights and authentications. So basically, that is how the storage providers do, and the validators need to validate all the storage provision that is true and that data is available for retrieve and to maintain the ecosystem to the same level. So that is the responsibility for the validator. So validators and storage providers are two type of parties, although maybe one party could become both validators and a storage provider. And now we only open a testnet. So we want to make sure it's clear that now the testnet validators and the storage providers are not going, there's no linkage between the testnet validators and storage providers and the real mainnet ones. Now it's more on the voluntary status, okay, who want to help us test. And later we will have more rules about, okay, how to apply to be the mainnet validators and the storage providers. So and so there's no there's no direct benefit. Okay, you are now being the testnet validator or storage provider, you will have benefits, but it's more on a voluntary basis, and the more rules will be presented for how to build the mainnet ones. Yeah, so now it's more on the testing status.
Awesome. And I know now, since also you're live on Testnet, you're also looking for developers. So what are some of the tools available for developers, and any cool ideas that you've seen of maybe, because I know Greenfield's going to have one, it could interact with existing DApps, but BNB is also envisioning like this new set of DApps that are specific to BNB Greenfield. So maybe if you could touch a little bit on that, that would be great.
Yeah. So there are a lot of potential with the characters for that I described. So there's some use cases we can think about, but there's definitely more. The first is the web hosting. So basically, you can effortlessly deploy website and manage payment seamlessly with BNB. So basically, you can create your own Dropbox and maybe let others to use to upload and download data. You can create your own business. For example, you can charge a fee for like how much or how many times for like one-time fee for your users to do, and it's a good business. And second is also the personal cloud storage. So basically, you can establish your personal network drives to securely upload and download encrypted data, and use your private key for access. So no one will access to your storage. Yeah, and also the third one we can think about is the blockchain data storage. So actually, all the blockchains, they actually have a lot of historical data. And so actually more data they run, they need a way to process those and to store or delete this data in order to make sure the future maintenance of the blockchain. So basically, they need to store, Greenfield can use to store those data to decrease the layer 1 blockchain latency and enhance the data accessibility. So that is a very cool thing. And the fourth is publishing. And publishing means, as I said, you write an article. So basically, this is a good way for you to say, okay, we're trying to improve the intellectual property rights of published data. And so basically, due to actually owner-generated limited read permissions. So basically, the publishing market is also something you want to do. And it's a good tool to demonstrate intellectual property rights. And also the social media. So actually, SocialFi is a good is now a very hot trend, and with Greenfield data ownerships, it can actually really build a Web3 version of SocialFi that it will be the ideal infrastructure for social media as it provides user rights to maintain full ownerships. And so everything, for example, now you do everything on Twitter, and Twitter, the data ownerships is actually on Twitter, not on you. So that actually, so we should envision a new version of social media in Web3. So Greenfield can provide this infrastructure. And also you can do like token created registrations. For example, you want to have a whitelist for users to do certain tasks, and you can, okay, who will do that? And this is excellent solution using Greenfield. And also with all the applications we envision, there will be personal data markets. And so basically, apps can store encrypted personal data in individual accounts and only grant access to other dApps with user permission, ideally for a fee. So this is how the whole thing we envision for Greenfield. But definitely there are more that people's like innovation. That's the reason we have the future, like the hackathons for people to innovate on new ideas.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and from like a content creator perspective, aside from just like the opportunity for increased revenue or more control over your data, it's also you have access to a global audience and can expand your audience that way by, putting your data out there. What's up, Active? I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just so she brought up a good point about Twitter monetizing our data and other people monetizing our data currently. Interestingly enough, about a year ago, Twitter had to pay a hefty fine to the U.S. Government for sharing our data illegally, but that's another story. So how do you prevent double dipping? Let's say, Twitter's monetizing on our data, then we're monetizing on the same data. How do you prevent, unless that's okay, then it doesn't matter. But does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think double dipping is definitely inevitable when we grow in this one. So I think this is like growing the new market, and they will be existing together at the same time. But with this Web3 version of data provision, stronger, more users use, and Twitter also need to change their rule of using the user data, because if more users choose to, okay, I want to fight for my own data rights, then they more joining the Web3 data game. And then for large players, they will also need to change their rule of how they use user data, because they continue to need the user data to do the recommendation or do the market. And then there will be a new game mechanism between the users or the dApps and also the Web2, the Twitter. Maybe the Twitter will also, okay, sure, they will integrate Web3 a decentralized solution for data storage. Say, okay, hey, users, all the Twitter users, you can save your data, and we will pay a fee for us to use our data, something like that. Yeah, so it will be a dynamic revolution in the future, we believe.
That's awesome. Great question, Active. Great question. To go back to where you guys are in the testnet process, anything that you guys have been going on as far as like grants, hackathon, or community participation that maybe people want to learn about?
Yeah, sure. Actually, now we're actually holding the Zero to Hero Hackathon. So Zero to Hero is a 6 months program from boot camps to hackathon to incubator. So now our hackathon is ongoing, and every day there will be workshops by our partners, and this will be a lot. For example, yesterday it was Google Cloud Accelerator, and today there will be with Menta and the other ones. And in the future, there will be also with AWS, like Tencent and others. So there will be 7 tracks for our hackathon. So Greenfield is one of it. The first place will actually the winner will actually win 15K dollars for their products, innovative products. And other tracks including DeFi, infrastructure, social-fi, cross-chain, NFT, gamify, metaverse, and also innovation track we create. So feel free to join. And all the workshops are actually streamed on our Twitter space. And even you don't participate in the hackathon, feel free to watch, because they're all provided by the top Web2 and Web3 partners we invited, and hope you giving you more thoughts about the technical, the usage and technical innovation, and give you more ideas about that. So we'll welcome more ideas about the decentralized data storage. And if you have more suggestions for us, since it's on the testnet, we are also ready to change anything and fit for the better purpose. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. I do have a question, just something that I thought of. So as the data on the chain starts to grow, once you're on mainnet, how will the fees stay low or not have like a price impact to users that are uploading or downloading data? Is there anything behind the scenes that is helping control that?
Yeah, so basically that's a good thing. So now for your data storage, you can only choose one vendor. For example, in Web2 world, the company will, okay, I will build on AWS. I will build on Google Cloud, right? So, or I will build some, or decentralized, okay, I will build on storage. I will build on like Airwave. But actually for us, since we integrate with different storage providers, so basically they will provide their competitive fees for you as the user to choose. For example, if now, for example, Google will provide you with lower fees, so you can switch your primary storage provider to Google. So basically, there will be competing fees between different vendors. So the fee will be lower and lower to a competitive status that people will choose who to use. So that's the mechanism we hope to design, that people can choose their vendor, and depending on the fees or the features they want. For example, they can choose purely decentralized storage solution as their primary storage provider, and it can be permanently stored on chain. However, it may be the download and uploading is not as fast if you choose the primary storage provider as the Web2 vendors, but that's the user's choice. So we give all the choices, and the price definitely will be optimized given this competition we set up for those storage providers. Yeah.
Awesome. And can I ask, when mainnet? Is there a timeline for mainnet?
Yeah, sure. The mainnet is expected to be launched in Q3, in Q3. So basically, if everything goes well, it will be in Q3. And I think in Q2 we will release the second version of testnet also sometime. And in Q3 we will release the mainnet. And yeah, so we're now encouraging everyone to test the testnet, give us feedback, build the apps on the testnet, and join our hackathon. So there will be more opportunities in the future for this, and we hope to run it in the long run. We know data is a very yes, it's not a very fancy topic, but we believe it will be the future, and it will be very important for the future growth of BNB Chain and even the whole blockchain ecosystem. Yeah.
And another question, is the focus mainly going to be on user dApps or enterprise level dApps, or is it basically up to the community and the builders, or is there a strategy that BNB Chain is taking one versus the other?
Oh no, we're pretty open. So everything actually, we're open for all the solutions by either enterprise phase like B2B business or B2C business. We're open for both, and we also welcome. We understand enterprise have different needs. We also welcome enterprise specific solutions to serve all the enterprises. So we're pretty open for this. So there's no preference. We will help to grow in either way, and we believe their needs on both the enterprise side and on the user side. In addition, the whole Greenfield blockchain will be open source, so also open for everyone to fork it and to use it for their own purpose.
Interesting. Didn't know that. So mainnet Q3, looking forward to that. Anything else that you want to leave us with, or that we may have missed, or that I may have skipped over?
Yeah, I think we have pretty covered everything. So basically, want to emphasize that the reason for creating this one is actually, we believe that data storage will be a new wave innovation in the crypto world that actually makes Web3 innovation is actually doing something Web2 cannot do. That the data is actually owned by users instead of owned by other people. So we think this will be very important for people to recognize and also value Web3 and not just think about it as like a money game. Yeah.
Awesome. Active, I saw you have your hand up. Did you have a question? And then we'll go to
I think I decided it was stupid, but I was going to ask who the main competitors to Greenfield are. Would it be just all the blockchains, or I just wanted to get an idea if you are tuned into your competition, or if that's too broad.
Yeah. So in terms of the competition, I think Filecoin and Rwave are the two main competitors, because they also provide a storage solution in a very decentralized way, and they have been in this industry for a pretty long time. So other blockchains are pretty, actually they can even use Greenfield in the future. But although the first stage is have the native layer with BSC, but in the future maybe it can also serve other EVM compatible chains. So we're pretty compatible with other smart contract based chains, but competitors could be Rwave and the Filecoin. Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was helpful.
Yeah, thanks, Active. Crypto BN, what's up? Good morning.
Hello, Jess. Good morning. Hey, Joy, my question to you. You said hackathon, right? So, what is it around? Like, can you give more context around it? Like how we should participate and what should we learn before we come to the hackathon? Any ideas? Or what are the varieties of streams that we can participate? Like, none of us, I mean, most of us don't know coding. And so can you give more context on that?
Yeah, sure. Hackathon, there's a website called Zero to Hero that you can go in to learn the more tracks about this hackathon. As I mentioned, there will be 7 tracks, and it's also open for non-coders, since there will be a team up procedure that you can team up with people who have compatible skill with you. So if even you are not a coder, maybe you're a product manager, or you're good at like design or marketing, so you can team up with developers to form a group, and we will also help you to find a team after you register our hackathon. Yeah, and you can see the BNB Chain Twitter every day. We have the workshops streaming on both YouTube and the Twitter to get you more information about how to using our partners infrastructure tools to participate in the hackathon.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. And I'll wait for the airdrop for Testnet community.
Yeah, looks like they're actually streaming right now, what you mentioned, Zoe. So I did put up some information to the Nest regarding the Zero to Hero hackathon, as well as the live stream that is going on now, if you want to check it out. Any other questions or comments? All right. Well, Zoe, we do really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming and sharing more about BNB Greenfield.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak about Greenfield and BNB Chain. Yeah, hope everyone could take a look at Greenfield.